I stay binging out on the word. Could have been a shooter with a Glock and a Ruger, but my life was a turd. Ain't no other ruler better than Yahshua, y'all frauds is absurd. Switching lanes when the weather changed, better understand his return. Better understand his return. I stay incredible like the Bruces. Wayne, Banner, and Willis through the glass, I'm a Jackson with the cruiser. Fix around my neck sworn to protect any disrespect you can spruce up. Grab the carrots, let's juice up. So your vision is with precision and the opposition can't roost ya.
All right, I love it.
We in the same boat. We are all alike. But I refuse to stop here. Going on for my life. My fists are pumping in the air like I'm Mike Tyson. And no amount of pain, and no, I won't take my life. You can't stop this flow. Success is knocking at my toe. Stronger now, I'm ready now to walk through that door. My next is coming soon. Don't try to block the flow. You ain't no ordinary. Call yourself extraordinary. Woo!
Can't stop now, I've got somewhere to go. Can't stop now, I've got somewhere to go. Can't stop now, I've got.
We have someone in the Christian hip hop community, or CHH community, as most like to call it, who is the organizer, founder of the largest festival here in LA. His name is Emcee. Nice. Welcome to the show.
What's up? I'm glad y'all can come to the City of Angels, and hang out with the Halos.
Thank you. We appreciate that. We appreciate that.
Right.
It's just good to be able to see other folks in the kingdom doing amazing things, doing successful things, and doing it with excellence.
Amen.
And so we had to have you on the show, and it's great that you're supporting those in the community, in the body of Christ. How does it feel to have the largest festival out here?
Right now you don't really feel nothing. You just work. You put in the work that God, set out for you to do. But I think it's gratifying to know that, our festival was postponed. A lot of people thought we would cancel or it would never happen because, CHH is not a recognized genre of music.
Right.
And, but it is a recognized genre of music when you think about the things that are happening as far as television, radio, movies, gaming. Like all of our artists are, in these spaces, whether it be Swoop with the Giannis earphone commercial, or Joey Vante was with Christian Dior, or Wande with ESPN, or even now Lecrae and Andy Mineo with the Kardashians shout out. So our whole objective with the festival was to highlight the culture that you've been hearing but not seeing. So for me, it's like gratifying that we're going to be able to showcase, the who's who of our culture.
Excellent. And I know oftentimes, I've mentioned the term CHH to a lot of people who are into hip hop, into music, period. And immediately they say, what is that? How do you combat people when they say, okay, you're doing this festival, and you say, yeah, I'm doing a CHH festival. You guys should come on and support. And they say, well, what is CHH? Why are you doing a festival? How do you combat that?
Well, I combat it from the standpoint of CHH. I go Christian hip hop. Mm-hmm. And I said we got Latin Christian hip hop because it's not just CHH, it's Latin CHH and gospel because, the hip hop heads always go when you singing a little too much, it's gospel. But
right.
I feel like if you Christian and you hip hop, it's Christian hip hop. But I tell them it's no different than gangster rap. No difference than conscious hip hop. No difference than, these backpack or these mumble rappers. They all got different factions, so why is Christian hip hop any different from that? It's just hip hop, except we come with a message that's about enlightenment and empowerment and serving. Look at Busta Rhymes' last album. It was a straight 5%er type record.
Right.
Like, what I'm saying? Like, did nobody jump on him and say, oh, you can't do that? So he represented God. He represented his, passion. So we do that the same way, except, Christ, get a little, he get a little shunned on.
Why do you feel that is? Because, for years I grew up listening to hip hop. Since I could speak, since I could understand music. And there's always been an ease for folks who are outside of Christianity and they're pushing music. They might be Muslim, they might be Buddhist. Religion is always a touchy subject for a lot of people.
True that.
Because we all love music. What are your thoughts on, being this Christian? You don't want to bill it as a Christian entity. It's a festival, period.
Well, we call it a faith-based hip hop. Music.
Okay.
Because our ultimate goal is to transcend it into becoming LA's Coachella in the city.
Okay.
Right? And so, right now we're in the stadium. We're going to expand to the parking lots in like 3 or 5 years, and then we're going to expand into the Coliseum.
Okay.
So making it the largest faith-based music festival in the world. And so we know that because faith-based, we're going to have factions where you might have a Muslim stage.
Right.
You might have a Buddhist stage. We're 2020 Summerfest. God's House of Hip Hop 2020 Summerfest is not representative of a year. 2020 means vision. So we're saying through your faith, you have perfect vision. So, we're saying, hey, come, let's go align with each other, celebrate God, and at the same time, let's just have festival. Because, sometimes when you think about some of these events that take place, there's always conferences and then concert.
Right.
Or you got to go to workshops and then concerts. In our situation at the Bank of California Stadium, it's just straight party.
Okay.
We're going to straight celebrate the Lord, but in a hip-hop fashion, and it's going to be 70 plus artists from all over the United States. Well, actually from all over the world that are going to come and converge, and it's going to go down for 2 days.
And in the previous conversation we had over the phone, which I thought was pretty good, a lot of people apply to festivals and they've got to pay their own way. They've got to put out, a lot of money. It's an investment. And artists that are watching, please do know that you have to invest to get to the next level. So don't feel like the world owes you anything and just because you apply to a festival that everyone has to pay your way. But this festival is different in that you're investing in the artist.
Yeah.
But it's not just your run-of-the-mill up-and-coming artists. These are established artists.
Yeah.
Talk a little bit about that.
So, September 17th and 18th is when the festival's happening. And the unique thing about what we're doing is because Christian hip-hop, Latin Christian hip-hop, and gospel hip-hop wasn't getting respect, I wanted them, and my partner, Chantal Grayson, we're business partners, we wanted them to have the secular experience. Meaning that, these artists they get paid major dough, to come and do these festivals. So even when we found out that certain festivals don't even pay the little artists, that you have to really find your way and make a way. So for us, we wanted every single artist to experience what it's like to be an A-lister. So we paid every single artist to come and perform. We're taking care of all the hotels. We're taking care of the food and travel. So, we wanted them to have that experience so it becomes motivation for them going back to do next albums. Because this is an annual event. It's not a one-off. You're not going to see, God's House of Hip Hop 2020 Summerfest, one time.
Right.
You're going to see it in 2022. You're going to see it in 2023, and so on and so forth. So for us, I wanted them to have that experience and from now and going forward so that we be the festival they talk about coming to versus, I need to get on, one of the festival in August, in Austin.
Right.
Or I need to get on the festival, in Florida. We want them to be like, 2020 Summerfest, God's House of Hip Hop 2020 Summerfest. That's where I need to be. Work towards that. Get their albums right. Get their business right. Get their marketing right. That's what this is about. In October, we're looking at October, November of this year. We're going to start announcing submissions for 2022. So
Okay.
I'm excited.
That's excellent. And where can they go to apply?
Go to www.2020summerfest.com. And that'll be where you'll find all the information.
Okay.
We do have streaming tickets on sale right now. So we're doing the unique thing we're doing with the festival is we're doing digital streaming for those that can't come to California,
Okay.
and then we're doing in person.
Okay.
So if you can't make it to LA, streaming tickets are on sale. They start at $20. And we talking about 75 artists. $20 a day is not a bad price.
That's awesome. Now, I know you're an artist yourself.
Yes.
and you're involved in the curating of this festival. What do you bring, and what differentiates you from every other festival curator? What are you bringing to the table?
Well, one, we have associated with the festival God's House of Hip Hop Radio. We are a Stellar Award-winning radio station, the first Christian hip hop station in the history of the Stellars to win a Stellar Award, which is now on Gospel's radar. And we have 28 unique shows associated with the festival, the who's who in the culture, whether it be track stars, Rapzilla, like all of them are a part of. So we're not just doing a festival, we're bringing the culture, and I think what separates us is that we're involving the culture and not just saying, hey, here we are. As an artist, I started out producing Pac, producing Nas.
Okay, come on, talk about it.
saying?
The folks need to know.
Yeah, so I'm a multi-platinum producer.
Okay,
outside of
and you're so modest about it. Like, let the folks know.
Yeah, I was on the soundtrack to the movie Crash. It won Oscar. Worked with Prince. Did the theme song for the NBA. And then transitioned over into Christian hip hop, where in 2017 I was able to have 5 #1 records, including the #1 gospel album on Billboard. And so, for us, the whole reason of creating this was so that we can create an ecosystem for the culture. What's happening with Christian hip hop is not getting the respect financially, because record companies look at us as, you don't have venues to support, you don't have radio to support, you don't have print media to support outside of that. So how do we get our money back if we invest in you?
Right.
So we're saying, okay, we're going to create the radio station where with the radio we pay royalties.
Right.
Our goal is, in order for us to play you, we have to be able to pay you, which means you have to have your business in order when it comes to publishing and ISRCs, and then now the venue. Okay, we are in the hardest market in Christian hip hop for the purposes of saying, see, look at all the people come out. So when the record companies come looking, they'll be like, you mean all those people showed up in LA? What, imagine if it was in ATL or like places where Christian hip hop is a solid.
Right.
You know what I mean?
So your name is MC Nice. And I know that, it seems like you're a nice, humble guy. But do you ever feel like getting nasty with some of these artists you've had to deal with? Because, a lot of them feel like they're entitled. So you're putting on this big festival, and I am sure you've had to deal with people. No, I'm supposed to be on there. Don't you know who I am? How do you deal with that? Don't you ever feel like being nasty?
Yeah, well, I hit them with facts.
Okay.
I go, okay, you want to come to LA and be a headliner, but you have never been to Los Angeles. We're selling physical tickets. Internet don't count here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, you've never been here, you've never been on radio here, so what justifies us putting you in a position where you have to sell at least 10% of our audience? Because headliners are supposed to cover your festival.
Right.
So if you can't cover 10% of the festival, why would we make you a headliner? And yes, we had to combat some of those things, but those artists choose to do what they do, and there's other artists that step in that want it just as much. You know what I mean? And so we let the Holy Spirit lead, and God, fortunately put those people in play to make it happen.
Excellent. How do you plan to continue to build the festival so that it can continue to be the largest festival that will attract Christians and non-Christians? Because ultimately that's the goal, I would imagine. Yeah,
well, the goal is to make this one of the, like I said, one of the largest festivals in the history of the world, and continue to do so. When you think about the big boys from EDC to Coachella to Tomorrowland, like, that's where we headed, and nothing wrong with the other little festivals. It's just, we want the culture to stand, stand out.
Okay.
So what we're doing after this, I'm sure the big boys in Christian hip hop that didn't make it on the first one they see the rollout, they see all the pub, they see all the press that's happening. So
Giving up, man, I'm bored. If you're ever bored and you've had enough time binge watching everything you could watch, you could definitely take a nice long look at Success Stories with Serious Voice. That's the show you can check out. Take it from Sherwin Excel.
Hey, this your man, Mr. C. We out here on the West Coast. Some call it the blessed coast or the best coast. Success stories of Serious Voice. Starting you off with Serious Voice. Mind games. Let's go. Go have a little fun today. Rock. Come on.
Mind games. The battleground is on my serious.
Hey,
Mind games.
come on.
Mind games.
You know the enemy be trying to play with you. Saying you ain't nothing. Saying you can't make it. But you know that's a lie, right?
Flip through these scripts on the regular. Can't stop me now cause I'm battling
Secular.
We want the goods but say no to the
Giver, the giver. Come on.
My G.O.T.
He be the giver.
Count one blessing and do one God. Mind one fix and you need a new heart.
Mind games.
Yeah. We gonna move things forward. The love of God is there, available to you. I'm gonna prove it right now with this next joint.
You check it out live with Mr. C. Punch you in the face with that ministry. Keep it locked right
Mary, G Trick. Hey, hey. Tell God that you love him. Hey, hey. Tell God that you love him. Come on. He been so good to you. Tell him that you love him right now. Yeah, hey, yeah, hey.
My soul, but I was just a sinner in the cold. Give me a second chance, seen it for myself. Came to my rescue when I needed help. You ain't nobody loving like I do. Spend my enemy self.
We gonna keep the party going. Boss serving. You ready for this?
He laid his hands on me, and now I get this time.
Yeah, man. City to city, state to state, burn around, baby. Raw firm. You check it out live with
Ride with me.
Punch you in
Hey.
the face with that ministry.
Ride with me.
Keep it locked right here.
Go hard. Yeah, give it 100%, you heard? I go hard. Hey, yeah, come on, West Coast. Talk to me now. Las Vegas, Los Angeles. Hey, hey. Yeah, oh, come on. Yeah, what? Yeah, what?
You know what the steez be. Every time I come around, you know how them G's be. Respect, salute. Ain't no doubt about it, baby. I got love from Florida to the UK, baby. And every place in between. Must be the mantra I be wanna say and say what I mean. Yep, been about it, been real, been drilled and all that. You can tell your whole story, man. I'm ready to call, baby. So I'ma make it do it.
I got something to tell you.
You check it out live with Mr. C. Punch you in the face with that ministry.
I'm about to light you up with this one. Preacher Clan. Yeah, D-Mob, Eric Cross, Petty D. Oh, I ain't concerned. Let it burn. You gotta learn, hey.
You started up running the race, so that way this time they go cut to the chase. Cause when they come to your salvation, just know that's about the rest of the world to embrace. That means the way that they get burned.
Man, they doing it to me again. Production, producers, yo, it's your man, Mr. C. mix. Follow your man, Instagram, Twitter, NYC_live.
I'm in my gold chain, rip it, my God. Rocket pumps and J's, rip it, my God. Fresh new swag, rip it, my God.
Who said I couldn't be fly? Rip it, my God.
Everybody put those hands up, y'all say everybody, let's go.
Rip it, my God.
Everybody, let's go. Everybody put those hands up, I say everybody, let's go.
Rip it, my God. Bigger things, yeah, I want it. If I said I don't, then I'd be frontin' it. He told me that I can have it, as long as I don't forget the purpose of this life. I must live right. He trusts me till I can. So I gotta prove. So the beat may change, but the message stay the same. Drew, make the beat go. No matter where I go, I'll be out the box. It may seem strange, but we're going to change the game. You know the world wants me, but they can't take from me what he has given to me. Don't worry about me, 'cause I'm in my gold chain. Rip it, my God. Rockin' puffs and J's. Rip it, my God. Fresh new swag. Rip it, my God. Who said I couldn't be fly? Rip it, my God. Rip it,
Everybody put those hands up and say everybody, let's go.
Rip it, my God. Who said that I can't dream bigger and have Christ that comes with swagger? Not of the world, but yeah, I'm in it. Sick of the boxes that they try to put us in. There's more to it, going places, but I'm far from the basic tradition. It's more about relation and where my heart stands. What God told to be true. No matter where I go, I'll be out the box. It may seem strange, they were born to change the game. You know the world wants me, but they can't take from me what he has given to me. Don't worry about me, 'cause I'm in my gold chain. Rip it, my God. Rockin' puffs and J's. Rip it, my God. Fresh new swag. Rip it, my God. Who said I couldn't be fly? Rip it, my God. Rip it,
Everybody put those hands up and say everybody, let's go.
Rip it, my God.
Let's go. Everybody put those hands up and say
Rip it,
Get your cameras out, bring them up close. Chain hanging, swinging, looking like a jump rope. Grace and mercy, I don't deserve fun. I'm not a boss, but I serve one. Father God, Almighty Daddy, only lack in my life is a caddy. And I don't really need to have to throw it up. Everybody know it up, 'cause permanent like a daddy. And I'm so high, but I get up here another way. Lord, I just wanna thank you for another day. Get it in with my friends and we in tears. J. Drew, K. Joe, Kiki, shit. Yeah.
no matter where I go, I'll be out the box. It may seem strange, but we're going to change the game. You know the world wants me, but they can't take from me what he has given to me. Don't worry about me, 'cause I'm in my gold chain. Rip it, my God. Rockin' puffs and J's. Rip it, my God. Fresh.
You thought I was on my knees 'cause I was giving up. It looked like I had folded and I had enough. While I was on my knees, my Lord was lifting me up. He getting me up. Yeah, you thought I was on my knees 'cause I was giving up. No giving up. It looked like I had folded and I had enough. While I was on my knees, my Lord was lifting me up. lifting me up, he getting me up, he getting me up, he
Looks
getting
can
me
be
up.
deceiving, yeah, I'm breathing, you better check my pulse. Just when you thought I was dead or close, you swear you had saw a ghost. Because I'm alive and I'm breathing, it's my season when it shouldn't have been. Oops, you just counted me out too soon, my friend. Say hello to my big old God, I'm his child, and yes, he is my kin. When I'm weighted over and overwhelmed and burdened, I throw those in like a child, cause the fight is over, I have no punches left. I lost a few